Hi everybody, it's Christina and I'm part of the CraftStash design team. Now I'd like to show you, using an embossing folder, how to get these two different looks for your cards. So to make the card, I'm going to use the All Occasions embossing folder, which has a matching stamp set to it. And I'm also going to use the Nesting Hearts dies from CraftStash. So to create the background, I'm taking the embossing folder. Now one side of this folder is printed and the other isn't, so I'm going to start on the clear side. I'm using some ink, and mine is just Distress Inks, and I'm just inking up a brayer. Now if you don't have a brayer, don't worry, you can just apply the ink direct to the folder, but I'm going to use a brayer and make a nice even coverage over my folder. So you want it nice and light, you don't want a heavy background, and I'm just going to remove the little bits that have come onto the folder where I don't want them. Now once you've done that, take some paper, and it's easier if you insert it on the other side and then close the folder. Now once you've done that, don't move it because that ink is now on that paper. So I'm going to take this now and run it through on an embossing sandwich in my die cutting machine. So once this has gone through, if you open it up carefully, you can see that the image has now been printed onto your card, and you've got the white areas here and the debossed is coloured. So once you've done that, clean off your mat and your embossing folder. And I'm just using a baby wipe, and I'm just going to dry it with some kitchen towel. Clean off your brayer, and again dry that with your kitchen towel, and then you're ready to start on the other side with another colour. So once everything's nice and clean, I'm going to use the printed side of the embossing folder, and I'm going to ink up the brayer again, but I'm using a different colour this time. And once again, I'm just going to run this over the folder. And then I'm going to pop my card in and close the folder up and run that through the embossing, the die cutting machine on an embossing sandwich. So once you've done that, you can open the folder up, and this time you can see that the back is now covered in the colour and the raised area is kept white. So there you've got the two different looks from two different sides to one embossing folder. So once you have your background in the colour that you want and the colourway that you want, you can cut that down to fit your card front. So I've just got a top folded card. I've chosen the one with the coloured background, and once this dries it goes nice and flat and matte. And what I've done is I've backed that onto some coordinating card, and that will sit on the front of my folded card. Choose which sentiment you want, and make sure that the die that you want to use around your sentiment actually fits along there, and also make sure that the die is big enough to sit on the card. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment, die cut it out, and this is what I will have once it's done. Now I would like to back this onto some matching card that I used for the backing there, but the next die up in the set is far too big. So what I'm going to do is create a faux nesty with the die that I've used. So I'm just going to place it down on some card, and I'm going to draw around the outside of that die. And then once I've done that, I'm going to cut that out with some scissors, and that will then be slightly bigger than the die that I've cut. You can also trace around the inside of it, and that will give you one that is slightly smaller than the actual die cut. So I'm going to go and cut this now, and then I'll come back when I've done it. So to put all the pieces together, I'm going to work on the 2 layers. I'm going to wrap some ribbon around there, and I've created a bow which will sit in the middle there, and I'm going to add a little pearl fastening thing to just hide the knot. I've put foam pads on both these, and I'm going to layer them up, and I shall sit those on my card just off centre. So once everything's glued in place, as a final touch, I'm just going to add in some flowers. So I'm just using, there's only 5, so I'm just going to add those flowers in along there, and then I shall sparkle the flowers up with some glitter, and that will be the card finished. So there you have a couple of examples of the different looks you can get from a faux letterpress with your embossing folder. So I hope I've given you some ideas of how to use the folder and how to decorate your cards. And for more inspiration and for some really good buys, please visit the CraftStash website. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.